Greetings, humans. I'm Andy, and I'm George, and welcome back to the Windmill of Courses. Right, so before we get into this reaction, we have a new member to the family to introduce you. Everybody, this is Couscous. Couscous is dead, obviously. We're gonna ask you not to talk to him. He's afraid of people. That's why he has his headphones on. So, don't talk in a high voice around Couscous. Unless you're me. Or him. He doesn't mind us, yeah. Because, you know, we're corpses. Like him. Anyway, Couscous likes couscous. That's why he's got his name. I think that makes him a cannibal Couscous. Oh my god, that would be such a good Cannibal Corpse parody band. Cannibal Couscous? Yes, Cannibal Couscous. That would be cool. So anyway, give him a warm welcome, but don't talk to him. Now, this is One Winged Angel from Final Fantasy VII. This was a request from Aliki Katriu, vocalist of 8 Lies Down, who you should check out, because she's awesome. And she gave me quite some trivia about it, which apparently is pretty essential once we go into the song. So she made it a point to emphasize that this happens in the final boss battle of the game. Okay, it's one of the songs. There are more songs in the final boss battle of the game.
Whoa.
Because it's a multi-stage battle.
Yeah.
And the final boss, this is going to sound familiar to you, is named Sephiroth.
Huh.
So it's the thing guy that we tried to react to last time when I don't know what was going on in that video.
Yes.
Right, so our first attempt to get into Final Fantasy soundtrack didn't go well. Because the video was weird, the song didn't do it for us, we had no idea what was going on there, and it didn't get views.
And if we're honest, we probably reacted to the wrong thing.
Yeah, we probably did. Anyway, this one apparently should be pretty famous and should give us attention, which we always like. This is the Distant Worlds version, which is an orchestral arrangement. I think there are more versions out there. If you want us to check another one out, do let us know. And I do think yet another version will be released because they're working on a remake. So that's all the trivia I got. A lot of talking. Welcome, Couscous. Are you ready?
No.
Go! Close your mouth! I can't! Symphony X, anyone?
Sorcimagus, et
Wow!
Veni, veni, venias, me memore facias. 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 Veni, veni, venias, me memore facias.
Pardon me, but what the fuck? And I mean that in the most respectful way possible.
So that was stop laughing. I said stop laughing. So Distant Worlds version gave me this distant words because I have no idea what I have to say about this.
So the words that you need in order to put your opinions forward are very, very far away.
In Distant Worlds.
Yes, okay. I'm not sure this is respectful to the franchise because I know Final Fantasy is a big thing and it's really like its own thing.
Yes.
But I got so many flavors from so many other soundtracks.
Well, I think you have to ask yourself whether those soundtracks have a flavor of this or this has a flavor of those because we don't really know.
Yeah,
but do tell me what it reminded you of.
Okay, so I got Harry Potter soundtrack vibes. I got Star Wars Phantom Menace soundtrack vibes. I got horror movie vibes. I got a little bit of Super Mario Galaxy vibes.
A bit! Yes.
It's playing somewhere in this fine line between something that's obviously terrifying but also somehow theatrical and kind of just fun, like childish almost.
Yeah.
I love the use of percussions.
I'm surprised you didn't mention Lord of the Rings soundtrack.
I did not get any Lord of the Rings vibes at all.
Percussion gave me Lord of the Rings soundtrack vibes. The really thundering, ominous, menacing sort of thing sounds like the orcs are coming.
Yeah. The choirs were Latining at us, I think.
They weren't just Latining, they were also saying Sephiroth.
Yeah, I'm just not sure if Sephiroth is also a word or something in Latin.
He's a boss.
I know he's a boss, but I don't know if his name is Latin or not. Like, if someone's name is Freek, you know that's Dutch. You're not gonna guess that he's from Texas, right? So I don't know if Sephiroth is Latin, but it's certainly not Texan.
Okay, so, if I'm gonna look at the music itself,
it's good.
It's very good. I think the choirs reminded me a lot of what Symphony X have been doing
That
in
too.
terms of choirs.
Infernal, right?
Yeah,
Hellish.
but more dynamic, I think.
Mm-hmm.
More dynamic as in running all over the place, also more dynamic in volume. And that's actually what struck me from the very beginning of the song.
What do you mean by dynamic in volume?
Louder, lower.
Louder, lower, and like more layers, fewer layers, sort of changing?
No, I mean just how loud it is specifically.
Yeah.
Louder,
Quiet.
louder.
But that also happens a lot because the loud parts will like have like big wind instrument sections with percussions at the same time, and then when you get to the small bits, it's like one wind instrument or a few violins, and you know.
Yeah, but so you get what I'm saying. If you listen to Oculus Hex Inferni by Symphony X,
Yes.
for example, you also have this sense of expansion and
Yes.
then smaller parts and more teasing parts and then bigger parts. But you don't necessarily hear that in the loudness.
Yes.
You just hear it in the layering, in the cinematics of the music and all of that.
Mhm.
So when you also add the element of volume into it, it's so much more striking.
Mhm.
Like, it gave me bloody goosebumps.
Yes.
And it almost creates this tangible effect of like if there's an entity there that you're fighting with, that it's closer at you and it's striking at you or it's further away.
Yes.
Like, it's so suggestive
Mhm.
of the actual happenings of the situation.
combative dynamics.
Yes, combative dynamics. Like I wanted to start killing a boss on a controller.
This proves that we're a generation of pussies. We hear something combative and, calling you out to war, and the first thing you think of is clicking buttons. You don't imagine a bazooka on your shoulder. You don't imagine a sword and armor on you and being on a horse or being a knight or something. I don't know if any of this is consistent with the game because I don't know the game, but combative and you think clicking buttons. Yes! And then throwing your controller at the TV when the Sephiroth inevitably kills you.
I am a keyboard warrior and I do have a grudge on screens that don't do what I want.
Okay. So,
that was really, really good.
I'm gonna guess one more thing. It is called Distant Worlds.
Yes.
And all the multifaceted nature of the song also feels to me a lot like an overture does. Like when there's elements brought up from different points in a story. So you could say if somebody's facing the biggest, baddest thing they could face, that their whole life is kind of flashing through their mind. So that's what the dynamic works very well combatively, but it's also kind of suggestive of someone's entire existence being decided in this situation, right? I'm not saying that the song is an overture or anything like that, but it gives that dynamic because I don't know if it takes elements from other parts of the soundtrack.
I actually think the Final Fantasy soundtrack has an overture, and I don't think it's this one, but I get what you're going for. It goes in a lot of directions.
Yes.
It shows you different things at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows, maybe Sephiroth shapeshifts, or summons minions, or other things to fight you. Please don't hate us if we're talking bullshit. We haven't played this game.
And
we're sorry.
And we probably won't because we don't play games.
I think it was kind of prone to. Like, if you actually think about those themes, I don't think there was a lot of 4-4 there.
I don't know because I know I've also learned that you can build very rhythmically tricky things over 4-4 by just placing your accents differently and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna make guesses about time signatures anymore, man. I'm a pleb about that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't.
Yeah, but what's really interesting is that it's so all over the place and so experimental in a way in the writing. But unlike a lot of progressive and experimental things you might hear, math bands or whatever, it's very hooky.
Yeah.
So that's something that's tricky to pull off. Okay, so I think we know now why the last song on Periphery's album, Gent is Not a Genre, is called Thanks Nobuo. Because this guy is clearly an inspiration to many, and I think we can quite clearly hear that he's an inspiration to Periphery's orchestrals, who are like this but worse.
Yes.
So
they're better at genting though, because they do gent and this doesn't.
Is there a gent version?
Let us know.
Okay, are we done here? Yes. Okay, say goodbye to Couscous. And if you enjoyed this reaction, we greatly appreciate the likes and shares, and if you like more, don't forget to subscribe with bells.
Thank you very much for stopping by. We hope you enjoyed your stay, and we'd love to see you back at the Windmill very soon.
Of course, yeah.